takeaway from reading chapter 4 is kind of keeping things short and simple, to the point. The shorter the sentence, the better, the easier for the reader to understand. There's not a lot of time to be wasting with having adding unnecessary words, the clutter phrases, the surplus words. What I've noticed is that I tend to do this a lot. I think I've been so ingrained that the longer the word count, the better, not necessarily the content of the words that I'm saying aren't necessarily important to be adding, which is not something that you're used to, especially when you're, taking classes and in school. A lot of people are, oh, you have to have 1,000 words. Okay, I got my idea across in 500. That type of thing. So I think I really actually am going to enjoy that part rather than, oh, I have to hit this word count. That type of writing, which I think honestly makes more sense to me. That the shorter sentences, you can use them for emphasis instead of trying to use these big, long, elaborate words and things that I think might be, oh my gosh, this is like the most important word I need to add. In reality, when you can just make the simple, short sentences just as much emphasis than having this big word that makes me feel smart, I guess, which is nice. When we talk about kind of going into like the paragraph structures, I feel like I already have a pretty good sense of that, with the sentence structures of like the parallelism, and like when you want to make sure that you're saying the same things the same way, that type of thing, which I feel like when I was taking my English classes, they ingrained that pretty well, which is probably a really good thing. I do have a hard time when it comes to, and I made notes of this because I'm really bad about that part, is the mixed structures of sentences. I don't always know when I'm going from active to passive voices. I definitely need to do a little bit more studying and watching the way I write, and the way maybe I even speak, as to watching how I go back and forth between the two. And I obviously can even do it in the same sentence, which is kind of what they're talking about. And the incomplete sentences as well. I think I do that a lot, where I start heading somewhere and I end almost abruptly and not even making sense with where I started the sentence. And with the paragraphs, like kind of just making sure that we're keeping the same structure when you're going through a paragraph. And I thought I've always had this kind of down, where a paragraph is going to be about the same idea, the same topic sentence throughout the entire paragraph. And then the next paragraph is about that part and that idea and that structure sentence and all of that kind of stuff too. So I feel like I have that part down. Like I said, though, I think my biggest takeaway is the short, keeping things short, simple, to the point. We don't have time for, the long, unnecessary details. I don't have time for you to add, okay, this is blah, 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 blah. I just want to know hard, cold facts. What does this do? Where are we going with this? That type of thing. So I think that is my biggest takeaway from, I think, reading chapter 4.